Good evening, everyone. Today is February 9th, 2024, and not far away from where I am at. I don't know, about a few hours, hour and a half, Naples, Florida. We had a crash today of Challenger 604 jet. The flight is done by Hop a Jet, a charter company, which you can see this is actually the actual picture of the jet that's crashed. November 823 Delta, and this is Challenger 604, and you got pictures inside, but I can't quite see it though. So this is the actual jet. Reliable, good jets, Challengers. As a preliminary report, they had 5 people on board, I believe. I'm not sure if that was the passengers count or total. And yeah, there are 2 fatalities, which are the pilots. Jesus Christ. Me loading the aircraft. Okay. There are 2 fatalities. There are pilots, and the passengers all survived. And so far, I've seen 2 videos that are happened not long after the crash itself. First one was from this person. Now I know Naples, basically the jet was originated from Ohio, I believe, and then on schedule to Naples, Florida, and it was on final approach to runway 23 here. We have ATC transcript of what the communications were like. So right here there's a 75 run highway, and basically the time was about 3 o'clock, right? 3 p.m. So I'm not sure how the traffic was, but I think not too much. But this highway, I drove in it. I know it's pretty large highway to say, but of course you got all these structures here and there. So I believe that they crash landed. They tried to crash land. I mean, land on a highway due to dual engine failure. Okay, so the video here shows somewhere close to that wall, I believe. So the only wall is, I think, from this side. So I believe that happened somewhere over here. Matter of fact,
bro.
Yeah. RIP to these pilots, and you can see that. Oh, geez. Okay, so it looks like it was coming from that direction, because you clearly see the remnants of like fire and fuel here, and knocked off the that barrier, and you can see over there. So
Oh my god.
as well as you can see some car that's been touched by that jet. Not sure if there are any casualties.
The top of that truck.
Yeah, so from hold on a second, let me get that simulator sound out there. Okay, so their path looks like something like this. So they have been bound from Ohio, Columbus, and then the problem happened somewhere in this position here. I believe they were on downwind or on base when that happened, and it was I believe that was a visual for runway 23, and basically that track where it stops, this is just because they're low doesn't mean that they clipped anything here. This is why I always skeptical of those who trying to judge what happened by the flight aware. Flight aware is not really it is not a CVR. It is not a credible I mean, it shows up to some point, but there are too many things that can alter it. So, well, basically, what I think is that they're trying to glide towards the 75th here, and perhaps. Yeah, you can see that that wall is on this perimeter here, so looks like, yeah, and that's coincident with the damage done on that wall. So right where that community starts, that golf community or whatever, that's I think where they've put it down. But rest in peace to these pilots. They did a good job by saving all these people, but they lost their lives. So I think they've tried to put it down somewhere here, and tried to avoid hitting traffic, of course. Didn't miss that truck, so kind of in here.
Bro.
And I'm not sure if that's like a car or it's just the body of the jet that's already melted, or I'm amazed by these cars just like driving past it. I mean, you see the plane that it's just caught on fire and crash landed, and you're just kind of still going by it, and you're like, oh, that's okay. Since you can see this just already happened, since the you got quite a traffic here, and you got the helicopter is already a rescue helicopter or something. Is shoot down engine in flight or pilot mistake? What do you think? It's early to speculate. It's all only my speculation, but we'll get to that part. What I think. So we got one more video, which is here, where you can see the a little bit earlier, just as the crash just occurred. Okay, so maybe 1 minute or so after the crash, and I believe as we go we'll have some more videos. Maybe you see it's not popular in the United States to have the, how do you call it, the car videos, kind of the car cameras. If that would be in Europe, you know, or Russia, probably would have a bunch of videos from cars, but here perhaps maybe some highway camera or some officials camera, but that is still probably gonna get sent to NTSB and etc. So we might see it later on. And as you can see, there are people running out of the jet. There's somebody's standing here. I don't know. I'm not sure if he's this guy trying to rescue. He's just standing there. And these people running. There's a passengers.
Is there anybody?
And this is what pisses me off. I mean, you see the fucking plane on fire, people running from it, and these guy on Dodge Ram just fucking hurls through the highway, not stopping and honking the horn like, what the fuck? This is so American. I'm sorry, but this guy's stupid.
Is there anybody else in there?
Honking the horns like, oh, these people running on the highway.
Are they alive?
I don't know.
I need to get more
I don't
info.
have my phone.
Okay, well, two things of that video we can see. It's I don't know how many bits. There's 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure what that guy's standing there. I'm probably trying to save the bad pilots, but it's, as you can see, the fires too large. But they've managed to keep the hull more or less safe, so that passengers can save themselves. So that's a good job by these two pilots. Condolences to their families. Of course, it's a horrible way to go, but at least the families of those pilots will know that they saved their passengers, basically. So this guy is cussing onto the train.
Is there anybody else in there? Are
Okay,
they alive?
I don't know.
I'm not sure what she's answered after he said, "Are they alive?"
I need to get more
I don't
info.
have my phone.
I need to get more
I don't
info.
have my phone.
Okay. Not sure. Whoever can understand what she said, because she's screaming, but okay. So I've managed only to find only 2 videos, and we got data on the aviation safety network. There was 5 occupants and 2 fatalities, which are pilots. Is November 823 Kilo Delta 604. This information is only available from news, social media, on official sources, so not yet. So as you can see, the weather was not like any factor to this. What they've said is, yeah, we got the live ATC from that. We can listen to it, to live ATC. What? Not sure when it starts, but perhaps now.
I just talked to the ramp. Have a good one.
Small aircraft crash. Yeah, it's not a really small aircraft. I'm not sure about that archive. We can't listen to all the 34 minutes here, but hopefully somebody's gonna cut the piece of it so we can.
Inbound with hotel.
432 Whiskey Bravo, Naples Tower, Roger. Continue inbound for left base, runway 23.
Left base for runway 23 for 43.
Outbound now.
Just outbound 715 Charlie.
I'm gonna
For
call.
the numbers, no target for it.
Hopper Jet 823. Lost both engines, emergency.
There you go.
Making an emergency landing. Alright, Challenger jet departing. We're turning back towards the airport and clear to land runway 23. Hopper Jet.
Why does it say Challenger jet departing? Hold on a sec. Okay, let's. It starts about here.
Take a right turn back towards the airport. Police 1 departure ahead, Challenger jet, runway 23, clear to land, wind 220.
Okay.
Sector 534, plot traffic mile and a half line, we'll get you going after him.
Sector 574, Roger, hold short 2.
Okay, so apparently he was on a downwind, so I believe that's one of the first calls. This is tower, right? So he gets in.
Hopper Jet 823 is with you on a right downwind for a 5 mile fine.
That's him. So he's doing right downwind 5 miles out.
Runway 23.
I'm jet 823, Roger, make the right turn back towards the airport.
823. Yep.
Police 1 departure ahead, Challenger jet, runway 23, clear to land, wind 22012, gust 16.
Alright, Challenger jet departing. We're turning back towards the airport and
Why does it say Challenger jet departing?
clear to land runway 23, Hopper Jet 823.
Okay. So he called about 9:18 right here in seconds, and they start having problems right about then here. So he cleared him to land.
There's 6 Kilo Charlie, if able, turn left at Charlie for me, 1 departure waiting to go. Thanks, ground point 6 today. Sector 574, runway 23, turn right heading 270.
So it's been a minute already since he called.
Sector 574. Okay, Challenger.
So you've heard that he tried to get in even when the guy was talking. So this is what like kind of stepping on somebody. That means they're already. It just happened, and he's.
Hopper Jet 823. Lost both engines. Emergency. Making an emergency landing.
Rivers, got the emergency, clear to land, runway 23. Is that Hopper Jet 823?
We're clear to land, but we're not going to make the runway. We've lost both engines.
Okay. So they've cleared him to land, but he clearly says that we can't make it. We lost both engines, and at 5 miles out, so it looks like they lost it somewhere about here or so. Usually they should be at about like around traffic pattern altitude, which is 1,500 for jets, maybe higher. I'm not sure when he cleared them, but it's impossible to glide with this kind of plane towards the airport when you have two engine loss. I mean, this plane just becomes like a rock, of course, and they're already, when they are around downwind, around this position, they're already like less than 180 knots. So who knows, they probably had the gear out already or something. So really impossible to glide. So they, at this position, they've chosen to land on a highway.
Rivers, got the emergency clear to land runway 23. Is that opposite 823?
We're clear to land, but we're not going to make the runway. We've lost both engines. Southwest Jet 574 to hold short.
Yeah, it's horrible. You can still hear these guys, and you know that in a moment they'll be gone.
Tower Shadow 5, where's that?
Shadow 5, there's two northwest right over I-75. Opposite 823.
So yeah.
Everybody stand by. There's an alert 3 in progress. Everybody stand by.
Okay. So at this moment, it's already happened. What this thing tells me right away. I think that we can easily rule out the fuel starvation or something like, not fuel starvation, but like dry fuel. So basically, you know, when, first of all, in this kind of flights, and they're probably going under part 135, or maybe even 121, but I believe 135. But this is it's a Challenger. I mean, it's a charter jet. They have specific flight plans and they calculate fuel really good, so there are always a reserve left on by FAA rules, and alternate fuel if alternate needed, contingency fuel. So if they would had like low fuel, right, these guys would already let ATC know, because plane, before it happens, plane will let you know that you're low on fuel. It will give you messages, it will give you caution, it will give you warnings. It'll say you can't miss it. All right, so, and it happens long before. So by the standard operations and by the good good judgment, if you are running low on fuel and you're already using your reserve, the pilots would have called and they would declare an emergency on low fuel. So they would declare fuel emergency, etc. So that, I believe, is not the case. Especially, you can see that plane is on fire, so that clearly tells me that there were some fuel on board of this aircraft. And you can see that not only that it's on fire here, so it's clearly a fuel. You can see it's igniting, and this is how fuel burns pretty much. And that also these these black marks on the wall earlier and here, this all indicated that this was basically when fuel ignites and leaves the wing or whatever, it leaves these marks. So possibly at one of at this point somewhere here, I wasn't showing this. Okay, so you can see that how fuel burns. Okay, so you see these little small explosions here, and these marks on the wall here, the black marks on the wall, as you pass right here and there, all indicates that there were good amount of fuel still left in the airplane when it crashed with the perimeter wall or that car. So I think it's is that a boat? I think people are okay in this car, so yeah. So I think we can, at this moment, as of speculation, we can rule out that the fuel starvation. So obviously they have fuel. Two of my points that they had fuel is that they didn't declare fuel emergency. That's number one. And second, that the airplane is on fire. The aircraft is on fire. You can see the marks on the wall of the fuel when it burns, and you can see the little small explosions from the fuel. So it clearly has. So that brings us to the question, so what could have gone wrong? Okay, now in reality, stuff just doesn't happen like of loss of two engines simultaneously in big aviation, right? Even in the small general aviation, it does not happen that way. The only times I could think that anybody lost two engines is when is on a Hudson River, where the aircraft is collided with the geese flock. So it had to be mechanical damage there. They did not collide with any flocks, as to my knowledge. Indication of that is that we don't have any bird flocks in Florida. Only thing we have is we got these single eagles, they're kind of like soaring, and small birds on the lower altitudes. So I don't think that was the bird strikes either. As well as, if that would be a bird strike, I think the pilot would mention that. But they've lost two engines. So that brings us to, so it's not a fuel starvation. It's not the it's not like the failure of engine failure, for example. Like you can have a basic engine failure, but you can't have two at the same time. So that brings me to speculation that it could be either blockage, like mechanical blockage of the firewalls, or mechanical blockage within the aircraft as far as fuel levers. And this is why, that's what we're gonna look here in the sim in a moment. So I'm just gonna use this 650 here, which is really close to 604. I'm just gonna show you a few things. my opinion, what had happened is, I gotta turn on the lights just for this. Okay, one sec. Yeah. Forgot to do this one. Let's just remove these for a moment. Okay.
Nose door. Nose door.
Okay, I'm gonna start the APU so we can have power and discuss this while seeing this. Okay, so I know this is not a 604, but it's really similar to 604. It's almost identical. Okay, so I'm gonna start the APU here. So numerous things can. Here, I just want let's go from the beginning. So I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so let's first see the fuel system. Okay, so this is its fuel system, and you got the engine feed system, and you can see that both engines they have high pressure mechanical fuel pump. Which is, even if that fuel pump fails, it doesn't stop fuel to flow towards the engine. So both fuel pumps, they don't lead to a dual engine failure. So pumps can fail, you'll still have the stream of fueling into the engine. So the pumps only do the high pressure. Alright, so as well as essence and long engines are running, they will continue pumping fuel out of the tanks and into the engines to keep them running, even in the event of complete loss of electrical power. So I'm just gonna read through this so we can have both better understanding. So, alright, so here we got the left engine and we got mechanical fuel pumps on the left engine. The pump consists of multiple elements, but for purposes of the illustration we only show two. The lower element is centrifugal boost pumps that is designed to take the input fuel stream and generate the intermediate pressure increase. This provides the pumping action necessary to push fuel through the engine, fuel filter, and oil cooler. The second element located in the upper portion of this block is the high pressure multi-flow pump. This is gear pump, which takes a small portion of the input fuel flow and boosts it up to very high output pressure. This small high pressure flow is then returned from the engine and feeds the fuel system multi-flow system, which powers the various ejector pumps throughout the fuel system. This setup allows the engine mechanically driven high pressure fuel pump to power input from elsewhere in the airframe. In essence, as long as the engines are running, they will continue pumping fuel out the tanks and into the engines to keep them running, even in the event of complete loss of electrical power. Now, first of my idea, of my thought would, as I've seen it and as I thought about it, would be the firewall shut-off valves, the SOVs, which are located here. Basically, these can stop fuel flow, so they can starve engines of fuel. So the firewall shut-off valve, which is basically what it means, the firewall shut-off, is used in case of engine fire to interrupt fuel flow from the engine's feed line to the engine's driven high-pressure fuel pump. It is a part of the structure called firewall, which serves to isolate the potential engine fire from the rest of the aircraft structure. Pushing the engine fire button on the glare shield closes the respective firewall shut-off valve electronically, thus preventing further fuel from feeding on ongoing engine fire. So, the only way... Here, I'm gonna show what it's gonna be like. Let me save it though, because it's gonna be unusable afterwards. Latest save. Okay. So, like I said, in order to close this SOV, basically this button needs to be pushed. I'm not sure if 604 has the same location of that button. Possibly yes. Let's check. I believe so. One sec. I'm just trying to find a good picture that really not like 2 pixels by 2 pixels. And they all are. Okay, well here's the picture of a 604 cockpit. Which the 604 is pretty much the same aircraft, only that you have some of the difference are like the avionics and some other stuff, but it's pretty much the same. So it's the same. You have this button located right here. I'm not sure if you can see it though. Here, located right here. That is covered by the plastic cover that closes these SOVs. So in order for this SOV to close, look, you need to press, open the cap, press it, and nothing happens. Oh, there, I didn't press it yet. So you see, when I pressed it, illuminated the light, bottle arm, pushed the discharge, and it already closed the firewall SOV. So it only closes the respective SOV. So that, to the press of these buttons, they couldn't just press it, because they're not like, okay, of course they look like kind of like warning caution buttons, but they're covered. They have a cover, they have a plastic cover for one, and the second, both of them need to be pushed in order to lose both engines, okay? So for these SOVs to close. Now, Let's load this. Alright, so I've loaded as it was before. So,
Nose door.
alright. Okay, so these SOVs, I'm not sure, I'm not a mechanic, so anybody from mechanics can probably tell me, is there any other way to close these SOVs except to press these buttons? Alright, so that's the so far I know only one way is to press the button. Can they close by themselves? Erroneously, I guess. I don't know. And the other way to lose engines is, of course, to press these and lower the engine and shut off the tent. Now, my initial thought was that what had happened is that these are mechanical levers, right? So you gotta, the engine moves, right, when you fly. You put it, you move the throttles. By that time of the flight, they probably would already disconnect the ATS, right? So they were moving the, I believe they would, all of this is my assumption. So at that time, I believe they were moving it by hands. What I think might happen is that if these small levers, the red ones, if their spring or the system how it's located here gets stuck or old or pushed somehow or stuck in a position of down, both engines can be shut off by retarding the throttles back. So this is my idea of what had happened. My idea is that two of these somehow got pushed down or stuck, or their springs were not up yet all the way, and as they moved the engines down, I think that they accidentally moved it all the way to shut off. That's my opinion of what happened. Other way, I don't really see that anything else could go wrong. Okay, because or somehow some other crazy way the fuel was blocked to both engines, and for me to see how else it could have been blocked towards the engines, we just have to look at these diagrams and see how the flow goes. So these are SOVs for the APU negative shutoff valve. They don't lead to any fuel starvation, and the lines go here, and basically this is left primary ejector pump. Okay, primary ejector pump takes the fuel out of the collector tank and pumps it to the engines, to the engine feed line. So this is that engine feed line. Unlike aircraft with high mounted engines, the Challenger's engines are mounted high above all fuel tanks. That's another good point. And so cannot rely on simple gravity feeding. Oh, yeah. The primary ejector pumps operate continuously throughout the flight to provide uninterrupted pressurized fuel supply to the engine-driven mechanical pump. There you go. That might be the another case. That might be the number 2. So this mechanical stuff was number 1. One of my idea is what could have happened, but this is another one. But again, what is ejector pump? An ejector pump is a type of pump that uses a high pressure jet of fluid called the motive flow to move a much larger quantity of low pressure fluid to its outlet at an intermediate pressure. An ejector pump's motive flow can put colored green on these illustrations and in a small convergent divergent nozzle inside of the pump, and it's directed to the outlet on. Come on, shut up, plane. Ejector pump's outlet. The region accelerates a large amount of ambient low pressure fluid in the outlet together with the motive flow jet. In essence, the very fast motive flow jet drags the ambient low pressure fluid with it. Ejector pumps can thus provide a large amount of moderate pressure flow without any moving parts of the pump itself. And then you got a boost pump. The engine boost pumps are electrically driven centrifugal fuel pumps located in the center auxiliary tank. Their primary function is to provide uninterrupted pressurized fuel supply from the collector tanks to the engines during starting. Since the Challenger engines are located high above any fuel tanks, they cannot rely on gradient again. Okay. Alright, so that's the feed line. So we already have two things that could have gone wrong. So SOV could have closed up, but again, I don't see any other way of closing except lifting the cap and pushing the fire push. But who knows? Maybe they can just erroneously messed up. I'm not sure how that could be, but let me check the failures to see the fuel. Okay, leaks. There's only leaks. So on the engine, refuel, defuel. Okay, so SOV stuck maybe? No, that's the motive. Okay, that's refuel, defuel, sensor, transfer system. That's transfer in between the wings, so it's a different part. Motive. That's that. So the motive system problem. So the left motive flow pump failed. Okay. I'm not sure what would result, and we can start the engine and see if by failing that part, anything would happen. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, I'm not gonna. Well, sure. Let's close it up. It's so dark in here. Let me put some lights in. Oh, never mind. Utilities now. Okay. Alright. Okay, good. Alright, so I'm gonna start the number 1 and see if I can get a failure by failing the motive pump. Just gonna quickly do the flow so we don't have any other beeps. Alright, so I'm gonna start it up. Start number 1. phone. You can see it already. The ejector and boost pump start working. Feed line is doing its thing. And I'm not sure what their SOP is like in the Hop and Jet company, but usually with this type of jets, you have APU running on takeoff and landing to provide extra bleed. Okay. Hello. Oh, this is the best private jet software for explain. I think this is the best jet software for among all the sims. Hello. Oh, I forgot to fuel it on. It's unprecedented number of systems and things that are working in this trainer. It's a trainer. We've counted 1,900 failures in this aircraft. To not name me another jet that can do that, and as well as I like that everything behind is working, so you can get failures that won't even show up here. Right? They won't even show up here, but it will fail. It will be like a contactor stuck, or you got like a shorted wire or something like this, and this is all live. Below, I mean behind what you see is everything is working correctly. I mean any of those switches will have its own voltage, and you can even see. I mean this is so crazy, but this is a totally different way of story. We're gonna fly this thing afterwards, after this video, okay? So I just wanted to do it in a format of stream because I'm too lazy to do a video. So I've, you know, some people ask me like what had happened, and this is my idea, my answer to that. So okay, so but yeah, you're right, this is sophisticated software. Okay, so we have two engines running, all right. Not gonna go in, so everything here is just nose door and windshield and probes. So if we already find out that in order to close SOVs, we had to open these caps and push the fire switches. So I didn't think that actually what happened, not by mistake and not by any act of pilots, because you know you just don't press. It's not like a case of that guy who tried to press the same type of buttons actually on the other flight that in Alaska, Horizon or whatever. Okay, so there were normal pilots, both of them, and they tried to they actually saved their passengers. They reported the dual engine failure. So when people try to do suicide like this, or one of them, it would be another different story. So that is ruled out as well too. So let's see what if we can fail the motive pump. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and fail the motive pump on the left engine here. So now we can have indication of left scav ejector, but the engine is still running. So the ejector pump is failed, but we still have the flow. Let's give it some gas. Yeah. can even fail both of them. That's the right scav ejector failed. We'll wait a little bit, but as you can see, as soon as that fails, you have an indication already. So Data would have seen that indication, they would have known what if that would be the case. So I don't think that's these ejector pumps either. Or either. So as you can see, the engines are still running. And with this model, I'm pretty sure if that would be the case, that ejector pumps failure would lead to both engine fails, it would have failed by now already, because it's pretty exact model. Alright, so let's try to fail the boost pump, not just fail, but turn them off. So now the boost pump is not working, and ejector pumps failed. So we got, oh, there you go. All right. All right. So we've just noticed two things that could have gone. But again, by just failing two boost pumps at the same time with the ejector pump working, it would not have happened. All right, so if I'm gonna put them back on. So I'm gonna make them work again. The ITT on the turbine is still high. Let them cool down a little bit before we can start them again. And I'll show that with both boost pumps failed, it'll still run. Okay. So, and again, with the redundancy and all, I don't believe that two boost pumps and two ejectors could fail at the same time. It's like 4 things fails at once. Could that be dirty fuel or anything like this? Dirt in the motive system? That's another question of speculation. All right, let's. I'm gonna dry motor the engine so the ATTs get lower a little bit. All right, so without giving gas. I mean, without providing any fuel. Yeah. Alright, so we're not gonna introduce the fuel, we're just gonna motor it. Again, this is not like a proper operation or anything, but we're just trying to discover what could lead to this. Okay. Alright, feel on. Okay. And number 1. Alright, let it go down to like around 150s. ITT, I mean. But usually it's better if it's like under 130. Yeah, good. Alright, fuel on. All right. Okay, so let's fail boost pumps. All right. We'll fail 2 boost pumps. Okay, we got we didn't fail ejector, so we failed motive flow pump. Okay. All right. What about ejector pump? Okay. All right. So you can see that the ejector pump has failed. We still got the flow. But again, how many of those we need to fail in order for 2 engines and die at the same time? 4 things at once. Okay, so it's like left primary ejector pump, it's on, right? Now putting it back. If I fail the boost pump, okay, I failed the boost pumps. Now they're all black, but they still provide enough fuel flow. But at the same time, so I'm gonna fail all left side of things, like left boost pump control failed. And this is like highly unlikely. So again, let's check this. Okay, so for example, all of this works. Fuel boost pump should come on at any time. This is why you pretty much check these at the same time. When you press them off, like before the engine shut down, the engine shouldn't shut down just of pressing boost pumps. Also, it's not the case of that. But ejector pump and boost pump at the same time failure. But again, what's the probability of those 2 fail at the same time, left side and right side? It's still running, okay? So ejector pump failed, boost pump failed, still running. So the only thing so far I've seen what could have lead to it is the motive flow pump failed. So that's that right here. But again, what's the probability of those 2 at the same time failing? Maybe a clogging or something? Alright, so I guess that's more clear right now on what could that lead to. What could have led to this, right? So dirty fuel, contamination in the fuel, or contamination in these fuel lines. I guess it's up to NTSB to find out that. But so far, my speculation on that is it's either something mechanically here, as far as SOV closed at the same time for some crazy reason, or these 2 fuel shut off levers got stuck, and whenever they bring down, if they're in lower position, I'm not sure if there is any. Let's see if there is any failure like that, so we can see like a stuck fuel lever. Okay, Okay, that would be possibly like a control somewhere. Control, self-control, run left, auto jams, cables, okay, primary, secondary, flap, stall protection, engine, there you go. Thrust lever jam, but that's just thrust lever. It's not a I can't move it now, but it's not a thrust lever. What I've meant is this: is if that handle, like the fuel control handle, right, the fuel flow. Shut off, right? Shut off switch, basically. If it gets stuck to a lower position, whenever you're on approach and if both of them get stuck, when you move engines to a lower position, it's just gonna bring to shut down both engines, you know. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye out. Condolences to families of those pilots. They're heroes. They saved these passengers. Okay, I'm gonna take a small break. So we're gonna start a different stream for what we're gonna do, and in this, I'm gonna switch this stream off and start the next one. We're gonna do the circle to land and visuals. As I've said, I wanted to show you guys before. So circle to land, challenging, but good to know. So we'll do a short approaches, visuals, all type of visuals, and circle to lands here in Florida, somewhere here in Florida. Okay. So stick by. I'm gonna restart the stream and start back. Thank you.